are you saying that policy interventions also have a certain role to play in fostering women leadership in both public and private organizations?
Absolutely. I think many times, we see this question that, when heads of organizations are trying to hire at a senior position, they don't get enough applications, or when they want to promote from within organizations, they say, oh, we don't see many women really rising to the occasion. But that's then the question you have to ask is, how much have you invested in building that pipeline, in ensuring that women are there with you throughout this trajectory? Because suddenly at the top, you can't be like, oh, we don't have any women, because you've not invested intentionally in that, right? So once you start to create that, I think I'll just give you an example. Once I was talking to a scientist who worked in our ISRO, the ISRO work, and as you know, ISRO has been one of the leading organizations globally. And she was talking about that she had worked on this very important mission, actually, and she was the lead for that, and they had worked day in and day out, and the whole team had worked together. And when the time came to launch that mission, it was supposed to be done in the middle of the night, so hours were very odd. And so the head of that institution kind of gave them the choice that for women it may not be safe, so it's okay if you don't want to be there. But she said, no, we want to be there. You provide us an escort and you provide a safe transport. And once that was given, then they were there as much as men. So of course, sometimes that's what I'm saying, that the lens is, okay, the same thing can be experienced very differently by a man as compared to women, same with a boy and a girl. So in education, for example, you could do multiple interventions, but for a girl, there may be extra points where she has to go through, right? So I would like to share a metaphor that I had heard recently, which was that both men and women are swimming, but men are swimming with the current and women are swimming against the current. So you can imagine we need extra effort, which means for the same thing, there's a lot more effort that women have to do to get there as compared to men.
So pulling back a little, how do you, I mean, on a larger scale, how do you feel things have changed for women, in their homes, at workplace, and in society as a whole? And how do you see things evolving over the next, let's say, 5 to 7 years?
Yeah, so I think that, of course, there has been a lot of change. And I think, again, depending on the context, depending where you are talking, or, so I think in the metro cities, definitely there's a lot. We see a lot more women now. India has the statistic on women's labor force participation, which is not, which is definitely concerning. But I also see there's a lot of efforts that are being made now to say, okay, how can we really work around this issue? I think women's safety is something that, especially in India, I would say, is often a constraint, is often a barrier. And now with there being a lot more access to transport opportunities, etc., and especially these mega cities, it's making it easier. But I still feel we have a long way to go. I think whether we are looking at rural India, whether we're looking at tier 2 towns and cities, I think there's a lot that needs to be done. But of course, I think what is really heartening is to see that all of this is now being named. There is a push that's happening from the government side. There's a push that's happening from like, I would say, industry associations like CII are also now owning and naming that this needs to be changed. And I think that's the starting point.